So this whole journey started when we bought our first commercial real estate building for less than the cost of a house. So if you're new here, stick around till the end and I'll tell you exactly how we did it. And if you're tired of residential real estate investing like I was, commercial real estate is something you're interested in exploring. I'm gonna walk you through how we went from 0 to 6 buildings in less than a year and walk you through how we did it and tell you the backstory. All right, it's 10 a.m. right now. I'm headed to High Point. 3 years ago, I didn't even know this market existed, but now we're under contract on our 4th deal here, and let me tell you the story. So we started with just one little industrial building. It was $250,000, 6,000 square feet, which is less than the cost of a regular house. So I think just about anybody could get started in commercial real estate buying a deal like we bought. While we were under contract on that deal, another deal came about around the corner that was about 18,000 square feet. I recognized it was a good opportunity, so I decided to sell the first rental property I ever bought with my wife and I. We lived there for 11 months, moved out, rented to the tenant, and after 2 years we sold it to him. So we 1031'd that house into this 18,000 square foot warehouse around the corner from the other one. But before we closed on anything, we were under contract on that deal, and then 4 more buildings came about around the corner, all within probably like a mile radius of each other. That was also another seller financing opportunity, and it was more expensive. It was 41,000 square feet, $1.2 million. So I knew we couldn't buy all 3 at the same time. So we partnered with somebody on the first small deal. We brought an investor for the down payment and kept 50%. The second one I used my 1031 for, and the third one, which was the 4 buildings, we partnered with the firm I work for. So we were able to buy 6 buildings in a span of 6 months, all just by partnering and taking these deals down. So it sounds great. It's like awesome, you bought 6 buildings in a short period of time. Now you've got to, have all this cash flow and stuff like that. It's not like that. We were very stressed running point on all those buildings. We were running due diligence on 6 different buildings. That means 6 different phase 1s, 6 different PCAs, 6 different surveys. It was a nightmare. We were doing a whole bunch of stuff all at once. Not to mention the 6,000 square foot was my first deal ever. So we went from 0 to 100 very quickly, and it was incredibly stressful. I wouldn't recommend that for anybody. It was very stressful, but fortunately, Lord willing, we leased the 2 buildings that we bought. By the way, they were vacant. The first 2 we bought, the 6,000 one and the 18,000 square foot building, both of those were vacant. So we leased them, and after we leased them, we had all 6 buildings. But I'm glad I did it, because doing all that forced me to grow. I got out of my comfort zone and I pushed, and we were able to do all 6 buildings in a short period of time. And even though it's incredibly stressful, we jumped up levels, and now we have confidence in acting on buildings, because we know, okay, we just did these 6, we were able to take them down, we did them all, simultaneously, and it was incredibly stressful, but we actually know what we're talking about. We made a lot of mistakes with those buildings. Let's see, the first 2 buildings we bought, there was between the 2 of them 5 HVAC units, and 3 of them broke after we closed, and we had to replace. So we learned a lot just from those first couple of buildings. We also learned the lease rate of the area. We knew the market very well. We thought maybe we could get $6 per foot, but all the comps were at $4.50, $5, and maybe even $5.50. We said, you know what, let's try $6. We actually got $6, and now that we did that, we actually seen a lot of other leases sign at $6, so we kind of pushed the market up, and now we know with confidence that if we buy another building here, we can actually get $6 and maybe even more. So now when we go to look for a building, like the one we're under contract on now, we know what lease rate we can underwrite. We know what problems we can expect to happen. All right, we need to make sure all the HVACs are good. We need to make sure the plumbing's good. We need to make sure the roof's good. The phase 1 comes in clean and the survey comes back good. So the moral of the story is, we found ourselves focusing in one little area, all within a mile radius of each other. And there's a lot of power with focus. If you can focus in one little area, you can get to know the brokers, you can get to know the lease rates, you can get to know the contractors and the vendors you're going to be using to fix the HVAC, and all the due diligence stuff done, and people lined up like landscapers. If you can do that, there's a lot of power in focusing in one small area. Another thing too is that, we focused on that first building, and then 5 more came about because we were looking in that area. And now that people see we bought buildings in this area, we're actually getting people outbound reaching to us. Hey, we saw you bought this building across the street, was wondering if you'd be interested in buying another one. I have this one for sale. Or sellers actually know, when we go to appointments, we can say, yes, we own this one, this one, this one, this one, versus just coming in like we don't own anything in the area. And we're some people from out of town who actually don't own any buildings here, or somebody from New York, California, or whatever it may be. It's like, no, we actually own buildings in the area, and we can show you. We learned a lot of lessons in those first 6 buildings. One of them being, we don't want to do that many one time. So now we have a philosophy, we're only going to do 1, maybe absolute max 2 at a time. But for now, we're just going to stick with 1 at a time, like the one we have under contract now. I'm super excited for it. It's 10,000 square feet. It's actually still within that mile radius. There's a tenant who's been there a long time. We're either going to have to bring them up to market rent, or fill the building with a new tenant. We prefer obviously to keep them there, but with debt service coverage ratios and everything, the bank's going to require us to get a certain lease rate. So we're going to have that conversation. It's going to be a tough one. But we just want to bring you guys along for the journey. And we're also utilizing a new way to buy a building where we're going to retain, Jesse and I are going to retain 100% ownership of the deal. So we're excited to experiment with that and see how it works, and also keep you posted on that, so that as we go through this and learn, we can give you the tips and tricks to do it yourself. So I hope this gives you a little insight on how you can grow a portfolio. I hope you can learn from our mistakes, and I hope you can just see that we're documenting the journey. You know, we started a podcast a year ago. The intent of the podcast was to document our journey buying buildings. We had no commercial real estate at the time, and now we have 6 buildings. That's not to toot our own horn. That is all by the grace of God and His plan. You know, I fully believe that we're not really responsible for any of it. We did go out and take action. God had a plan. God knew we were going to do that. So I'm very thankful for everything, and none of this is supposed to sound arrogant or like we're bragging. It's supposed to be hopefully encouraging and inspiring to somebody to go out and say, I can actually do this too. If these 2 guys can do it, I can do it. And I believe that. I think anybody can do it. You got to get around the right people, and you got to get in the game, and you got to actually take action. So if you can do that, I think you'll be successful. Thank you so much for watching this. If you're new here, Graham Story. I'm a commercial broker, investor, and podcast host. Hopefully you'll subscribe, stick around. I'll be making more videos like this, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.